Hello, beautiful women within the temple group. Hello, beautiful followers on YouTube. Hope you are all doing absolutely amazingly well. Dominika here with another live broadcast related to the topic that we discussed yesterday, which was the full surrender. And because it is such a deep and most important chapter on your path of embodying the divine feminine signature, I would like to discuss the full surrender today slightly from a different side. And this site is hi Eva. This site is the full surrender, and what does it actually mean for our ego? What our ego aspect will try to do to stop us from fully surrendering. What kind of issues may arise, may come to the surface when you will be trying to surrender into your lower chakras and bring back the safetiness into actually staying in your lower chakras, so the divine masculine can awaken within you, so the Shakti Kundalini can fully rise and open your crown chakra. Yesterday we spoke that the embodiment of the divine feminine can only lead through this full surrender, because full surrender ultimately means that we are embodying the oneness. There is no more separation between the feminine and the masculine. There is no more separation between you and God. There is no more victim mentality where before you could point out your finger that it is happening to me and it is happening because this person did this to me, or this event took place in my childhood. It is really taking a lot of responsibility for yourself, but not only for yourself, because when you are actually surrendering fully into your lower chakras, into this lack of control, into full flow, when you need to release, you will be more likely releasing not only everything that you've been storing within your womb, what was distorted, all the energies that were holding you back from fully embodying your divine potential, but you will be also transmuting a lot that has happened in your lineage. Depending on the contract that you came here with, it is possible that you will also be transmuting a lot of energies from the collective. For example, we are incarnating in a specific locations like countries, cities, depending on what has happened within the territory, and we often have a contract where we simply out of pure love decided to transmute certain distortions from this land and things that took place on this land, all the pains, all the wars, all the conflicts, all the traumas, or the crimes, abuses and things like that. So again, you know, when we are fully surrendering, it doesn't only mean that, okay, now I am releasing all the control and may anything happen, I am ready for everything. It's good to actually, you know, prepare yourself, because what may actually be pushed up when you are going down into your lower chakra, and Shakti is awakening, and she will be pushing back, she will be trying to reset your whole system, so you can fully free yourself and be really in that divine light and flow and creatrix code. She will really raise everything that needs to be released, and that will include all this package. So when we are surrendering, the reason why it may seem difficult, and the reason why a lot of women are stepping off the path of the full surrender, is because of what is being brought up. Most of the times when we are starting to stepping down, it is very important for women to actually start doing the sacred womb healing, because this work will help you to access the information of what you are actually storing there, what kind of history you brought into this world within your womb. And I spoke about this many times, that when we are incarnating into our little bodies, when we are in our mother's womb, our little tiny womb is within our mother's womb, is reading and downloading all the templates, all the history, all the traumas from our mother's womb. And when she was in her mother's womb, she did the same. So the first thing that we are encoding into our womb is up to minimum 7 generations of memories that the women before us carried within the womb. Then additionally, as I said, we have those traumas we decided to transmute from the collective, from the land, and from this current incarnation, whatever we went through. So what happens often when women are attempting to surrender without attempting the full womb healing, without preparing themselves, without taking that really seriously and prioritizing themselves, you know, the frequency that they are, and ultimately, you know, your womb is the carrier of all those stories. So it is the producer of your frequency. This is the whole cosmos within you. This is what you will be recreating within your external reality. When women are choosing to fully surrender without this holy and sacred almost preparation, and Shakti wants to raise because she's responding to your readiness, to this sacred act of oneness with the divine, of returning to your truth, and she's pushing up, she will push up all the fears. The biggest fear, of course, will be the fear of safety. Then the next fear will be the biggest fear of humiliation. Then the next fear will be the biggest fear of actually physical pain, dying. Then there will be a lot of shame and guilt that will rise up. Unfortunately, the womb spaces where our lower chakras are, where we're supposed to feel like at home, safe in our creative mode, in this creatrix frequency, they have been so heavily affected. And actually what the patriarchal system done, they've been aiming to create such a huge distortion within those lower chakras, because they knew that a woman that is fully connected to her womb and is connected to the earth and to the sky, to the cosmos, is the most dangerous creature on planet. So they've been actually aiming to bring so much trauma into that holy, this most sacred space. So we are scared to go back there and reclaim what is truly ours. So when those fears are arising, when I speak about this like that, and if someone would tell me just this, I would say, yeah, I'm gonna somehow cope. You know, fear is just a fear, it's an illusion. But I can tell you from my own experience that what is unfortunately happening is that the amount and the level and the intensity of those traumas and pains can be so overwhelming when it rises up, that you are immediately jumping up back into your mental space. Your reptilian brain is being reactivated, and you are doing the complete opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. In fact, what may actually happen is that you will experience the complete spectrum opposite of your human nature, like excessive running away. You may develop escapism. If there was a lot of fear, a lot of trauma, if there was experience of like near-death experience, if there were some horrific things done to women in your lineage, the level of the activation that will be pushed back up into your reptilian brain will make you do things that will be illogical. That's why I'm saying that the preparation before the full surrender is really, really important. To have your womb examined, to have your womb cleared, to have your womb healed, activated, honored, you know, to reconnect you with that space first, you know. So additionally, when we are making that commitment that yes, the path of the divine feminine and the full embodiment and anchoring this frequency into the grid of planet Earth is my path, is my destiny. I feel the calling. Your ego, that is obviously very much connected to your reptilian brain, will fear its own dissolution, will fear its own death. And it will literally also additionally start to activate all the unsolved memories from your past, all the unhealed wounds. Everything will be coming up to the surface. So in an essence, for those again who are just saying, yeah, I am going into full surrender, fair enough. Congratulations if you are, ready for this, because it's going to be the biggest storm of your life. But for those who choose to, you know what, I would like to prepare myself. I would like to know a little bit more, because I truly want to make sure that I am looking in the best possible way after myself, after my needs, that I have the awareness, that I know what kind of energetic routines I can develop for myself within my day to make this transition easier, then I am going to do that. Again, from my own experience, where I actually initially jumped, yes, let's do it. I will tell you that I do not recommend going there without the preparation. What the ego, which is the trickster, which is the illusionist, will try to do in order to preserve itself, in order to keep this illusionary self, the lower mind archetypes active within you, the separation active within you, the lack of trust in God within you, the lack of trust in masculine within you. It will start to actually very actively creating scenarios and situations in your life, in your external reality, to push you back into your safety zone, which is the comfort zone, which is, the little me, and I better stay there, because what I am starting to experience here is truly a hell, and it can at times feel like hell. Your loved ones may seem like they turned against you. Your children may seem like they turned against you. Your colleagues, friends at work, or friends within your social communities may feel like suddenly everything is against you. It's like literally before the quantum leaping, we need to release all the illusions. And what are illusions? Everything that is based on separations, fear, and limitations. The divine feminine path leads you to ultimate freedom, leads you to a reality where you are at complete peace, where there is no fear. And from that space, when you are relaxed within your creative space, when you are in oneness and integrity and honesty and authenticity with your soul essence, with your core essence, with your divinity, nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. On the flip side, for those women who are going with me through those processes, when they have the support and they know how to see through the illusions, what is happening is that the moment they spot the illusion, they know exactly how to dissolve it and how to deny it, how to start to implement the power of the word, the power of the creation that can be birthed into the physical and can be used as a transmuting tool for all the illusions that want to play themselves out within her reality. She is now fully taking the ownership of her reality, and fear has no longer the control over her. Okay, it's really, really, really satisfying to see women, and it's very satisfying for me when I see this happening in my reality. Like I shared this yesterday in the interview that I was given, how easily you can deny the illusion, and it flips literally like within a day or so, and you are being given what you desire. So my word for you today is this: be aware if you choose to step into full surrender, as I was saying yesterday, that this is an experience that can't be compared to anything. When you are merging with this divine frequency, when I told you that when I was experiencing like my whole body dissolving, I could feel every single cell in my body just twirling and being filled with light and being filled with love, and I could feel physically the presence of my divine masculine with me, merging with me, and all I could feel was total bliss. There was no plant medicine, there was nothing, there was pure intention of the heart, and that's it. And it happened for me in the most magnificent way. It was just so worth it. It was just so worth this whole work. But I am sharing all this information with you today about, what may happen, because I was taking the wrong, turns, and I was taking the silly, I was making the silly decisions out of my ego, actually. And it was leading me through avenues when I was experiencing a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointments. But then I decided, you know what? Okay, I decided to take it, and what I can do with this right now, I can take it and I can share it with others, so they have better awareness and idea what kind of paths maybe they shouldn't be taken. Although absolutely everything is up to your choice. The fear of safety for me personally, and the fear of death was the biggest one. And I said it yesterday that actually the last chapter of embodying the full divine union within you, the step after overcoming the ignorance, is to face the fear of death. And this is a big one for those people, for those women who experience a lot of physical abuse, who maybe experienced a lot of physical trauma, sexual abuse, if there was a lot of this kind of distortions in your lineage. Additionally, if there were stories in your lineage, and that can be shown through the womb work again, where, for example, there was a family member who took somebody else's life. What we are currently doing in this moment of time, in this timeline, when we are shifting into the higher consciousness earth, we are cleansing everything. We decided to take whatever there was in the lineage, right? I'm just becoming, this doorway, this portal to completely release everything. What my ancestors haven't been able to let go of, transmute through love. Because everything can be transmuted through love. And we are making those choices before the incarnation out of love, and because we know we can do it. But if there was a situation that, and there could be plenty because our ancestors went through the wars, that somebody lost a life because of our ancestor, we will most likely have to face the fear of death, to repay this karma, to transmute this karma, to surrender to it. And that was a big one for me because of my near-death experience. And my ego aspect was using this mainly against me. And it was using it to, first of all, what I find out that within the subconscious mind, the room of the ego, all the shadows where they live, what it was trying to create was the belief based on separation that it was God that allowed this to happen to me. That because the near-death experience happened because of a masculine figure in my life, I can't trust masculine, because if I'm going to surrender and trust the masculine, that I will be provided for, that I will always be safe, that I have nothing to fear of, that's a big mistake, because you can't trust masculine. So my very toxic ego aspect was using that fear of masculine, fear of God, that God will not save me, and I was struggling a lot with it. I was struggling in big pains because of it. To be honest, I was going sometimes through such a physical and internal pains in my heart because of this inability to surrender, and I wasn't fully aware where is it coming from. That for me personally, plant medicine ceremony was the thing that helped me to understand the bigger picture of what is happening here. What is my subconscious mind creating? What is the blockage inside of me? Why can't I see it? I have such a great awareness. I am a hypnotherapist. I can go deep into my myself, my consciousness. What is it that I'm not seeing? So for me, discovering that there is a subconscious underlying belief that is being constantly recreated by my ego that was trying to protect itself, that it will happen to you again. You will be humiliated, you will be abused, and you will die. You will lose your breath. You will lose your breath. You're gonna die. So to discover that illusion and fear was huge for me, and how to overcome something like that, how to overcome the fear of dying. You need to work a lot with reprogramming yourself. That's the first thing. That first of all, the death is an illusion. There is no death. We never die. That God, whatever has happened to your ancestors, whatever has happened in your life, was never the creator of it. It was your ill mind that has created those distortions that you came here to transmute. Within the kingdom of God, there is no such thing as pain. There is no such thing as abuse. For me personally, additionally, what helped me a lot were the teachings from Jesus, that actually everything that has happened in this life never happened. That what it truly was my mind imagining that it took place because my mind was ill, because my mind was a split mind, because my mind was run by the ego. I had to go through deep processes of forgiving and bringing everyone, and including myself, into the truth. And the truth is that we are all innocent. So it was a deep process of digging out all those illusions, all those fears, before I could relax, before I could take that step and, as I was saying, untangle those little fingers from the control and just breathe and start merging with the truth. Before, without this preparation, whenever I was trying to surrender, what was happening with my energy, I was going down into my lower chakras. My kundalini would start to awaken. I could feel her going up my spine. You will usually feel it in a form of a fire that is rising up. You will also probably feel certain physical discomforts, physical pains, because your physical body also, of course, stores all those traumas within the physical body. So she was rising up, and then the ego was creating an event within my reality that would immediately trigger the fear of not being safe and losing my breath and losing my life, and my energy would go up back into my reptilian space, and it would make me make completely opposite decisions, choices, taking different actions that were based purely on fear, not on trust and love. And therefore I was recreating this cycle several times, like I was looping and looping, not understanding, until I had to sit and I had to look very, very deep. What is it that is causing me to act in such an unpredictable way, to a point where I felt like I have no control over those animalistic, literally, instincts that are now ruling my body, that are now ruling my actions, my decisions, and everything else. So again, the full surrender is a path where you will have to walk through fire and transmute everything back into truth, back into peace, back into love. If not, the ego will also actually strengthen itself. Why? Because the longer this fluctuation between upper and lower chakras is taking place, and the more actions is being taken based on the fear, the ego itself is gaining more strength, more. It's like it's creating a new path. It's creating new responses, stronger even than before, to preserve itself and keep itself alive. So when we are committing to the full surrender, like for example, we are doing this within the Temple Academy. I go through the deep surrender with individual clients too. It is really important to prepare. Additional step, what I would encourage you to do, and I did it for myself, is to either pick a spiritual mentor, and I'm speaking here about, for example, Divine Feminine Ascendant Masters, or you can simply decide to open yourself to the wisdom and knowledge of your spirit guides or your ancestors or your angels. It is very important to know that when you are choosing to go through the full surrender, your whole team, your guides, your ancestors who are rooting for you, will be making sure that you are being assisted, that you, just when you ask, you receive all the guidance, all the wisdom, all the knowledge that you will need in order to fully walk through that bridge. The womb work, as I said, is very beneficial because you will release a lot before stepping into that full surrender. But also when you will reconnect to the consciousness of your womb, you will have every single day, every single minute of your day, a beautiful access to wisdom that is within you. And the wisdom within your womb is infinite. In your womb, you can connect to anything and everyone. And you can really be beautifully guided by the love and the consciousness and the wisdom of your womb. For me, Hathor, goddess Hathor, who I was never expecting to work with, who would never be my conscious choice, she actually was the one that came to me and started to teach me and be a very tough teacher at times, but that was what I needed because my ego was really strong, really strong. But because I decided to surrender to it and connect to her and listen to her, I knew that what I was receiving was coming from the Ascendant Master. I know it is coming from the purest, the most authentic frequency, template, symbol of the Divine Feminine. When it came to my fears and the little inner wounded child, that ego aspect that was freaking out in the most crazy way, the connection to, for me personally, Jesus, Yeshua, was the stepping stone, massive stepping stone, because when I let him in, when he stepped in with his masculine energy, divine masculine, I could start recognizing, remembering how it feels to trust, how it feels to be one with this divine frequency, how it feels to have your heart fully open, how it feels to be one with the truth. So this is what I would suggest to every one of you, to everyone. to choose and pick a mentor. Create an intention if you don't know who to choose, who is maybe assigned to you, and you will be shown, you will be guided. You will also, thanks to this connection, feel much safer with your own connection to the spirit. You will strengthen your intuition. You will strengthen the trust in your divine heart, in your divine knowing. And when you are strengthening the trust in yourself, you are strengthening the trust in your masculine, in God, because you are all one. This is all oneness consciousness, and it starts to literally vibrate out of you. When you are focusing and you are giving and you are choosing to surrender to this truth, to those guidances, to those information that will be given to you from the most purest, authentic sources. So that is another advice: the womb healing, the preparation, the awareness, choosing a mentor, surrendering to it, working daily in connecting to your tummy, to your womb, and listening, and really listening. Your feminine went through so much, and she will really need to feel safe before she will fully surrender and collapse into those lower chakras, and then the Shakti will just push through everything, and she will awaken the divine masculine. Another important part of stepping into full surrender, when it comes to safety, issues with fear, is that if we've been operating a lot from fear, a lot from lack, if we've been utilizing a lot of our lower mind archetypes in our life, it is very possible that we have developed a lot of attachments to the external, and we have developed beliefs that are making us trust and believe that I am safe if I have certain amount of money. I am safe when I am in an actual physical relationship. I am safe if I have this in my reality. That's what I was doing. I created a lot of very strong attachments to the external, which is the illusion, in order to feel safe. And that was coming through many different behaviors, patterns, even addiction in the past. And I didn't know for quite a long time, when I start to step onto this path, that in order to raise higher, in order to actually feel safe, I'm gonna have to release it all. Everything that my mind created, every belief that my mind created that I am safe because this is present in my life, I had to completely let go of. Completely. And that included all material possessions, cars, home that I owned. There was a lot of things that were happening and I wasn't understanding. And I didn't lose it just because I lost it. It was taken away from me. I was guided to do so. But every single time I was releasing something, and when I was relocating, for example, from UK to California, just with the 2 suitcases where I let go of everything, that was actually very cleansing, very purifying, because as an artist, as an aesthete, I love to surround myself with beautiful things. And I loved my nest to, be very well taken care of. And I felt good in those surroundings. And I felt safe when I had those surroundings and those elements, those objects. But when I gave away everything, and then I've learned that it can be gained so fast, and actually it doesn't mean anything to me, I gained a lot of freedom. I really gained a lot of freedom, because before, what I would do, I would just collect things and put them into my reality. When I let go of it and I felt naked, I start to see, you know, that I have inside of me everything that I need. And I realized how much control I wanted to hold over so many things within my reality. And the only way through it was to completely release the whole control. And I usually say it within my group coachings that, you know, God wants you to stand naked in front of him and feel so worthy and feel so whole that everything else doesn't bring value, cannot bring any extra value to you. You are the value, you are the wholeness, you are the abundance. And when you start to find this frequency of everything inside of you, you can still create a beautiful place, but you are not attached to it. And the external space, no matter how beautiful you're gonna create it, it will never match you. So you will never depend on anything. But there are, of course, people, relationships that we can create, right, in our life that we bring because they are making us somehow feel more worthy, or they are making us to feel somehow more complete. So many women is getting pregnant because they want to feel more complete as mothers. We do all kinds of, you know, silly things because that's the way we've been programmed. But a true divine feminine needs to become an essence of an infinite abundance, infinite love, an overflowing cup, in oneness in her soul essence, which is the divinity. And this is when the external starts to go crazy, starts to do everything to match you. When it is no longer responding as to a wounded feminine, that is lacking, that is in neediness, that is in separation, that is in survival mode. No, this time the external reality is responding to divine feminine, and it's honoring her, and it's listening to her, and is responding literally instantaneously. When you are in your wounded self, when you are in your distorted feminine, when you don't feel whole and you are in your victimhood, this is also how the external will respond to you, as to a victim. It will give you more of that. It will give you confirmation of that. So the flip, you know, again, yesterday I was talking about how beneficial and rewarding the internal union, the actual authentic, you know, union that you walk for and you went through this fire is, because on the physical level, I was telling you, it was literally an experience out of this world. To feel the presence of the divine inside of you, and you can't deny it. To feel the masculine energy making love to your feminine inside of you. To witness that, to experience that is huge. But then additional gift, you know, is that you suddenly are not dependent on anyone or anything. And when you start to play with the reality, when you are no longer slave to the reality, but you are the creator of the reality, where you don't have to struggle, when you don't have to push, when you don't have to worry and sit and wait in doubt whether something will be happening for you, but you know it because you are one with it, there's no fear. And I don't know about you individually, but I was consumed by fear, and I wasn't understanding why until I discovered, you know, those links to the near-death experience and all of that. But I lived in fear most of my life. And the huge potential that I hold, the abilities that I have of creating paintings that create realities, of opening portals, merging with everything, bilocating, shape-shifting, talking to spirit, and all of that, I couldn't fully utilize them I couldn't fully bring them to the light because I was constantly sitting in a darkness. And my deep, deep desire for every single woman within the temple group, I see Melinda, you are watching, beautiful, she's in a temple group, and for every single woman that I am guiding, I'm not fixing anything for her, but we are going together through this authentic path to your most truest abundance, is the most magnificent image of liberation, of the birth or rebirth of the truth. And this is what I wish for every single woman, because what you will be doing then with this frequency, you know, the past, future is not existing. It's all in one. And we may say that we are doing this for the future generation, but in that moment of anchoring and standing in your power, you already have changed the past and you have changed the future, and you are the most powerful, again, feminine that is walking this earth. And this is why you are here. And isn't that the most magnificent and exciting mission that you could possibly choose, to become the greatest project of your life? This is ultimately the most wonderful intention and path we can simply choose. So I hope again that this life has brought you a little bit more awareness about the path of stepping there, you know, going there, walking through that bridge. If you have any questions, feel free to post on the YouTube, within the YouTube comments. I will of course respond, or here within the temple group. If you would like to also know more about the sacred womb healing, how to help your womb and prepare her for this initiation, for this transition, also feel free to reach out, and I will come back to you very soon with another broadcast that will be, of course, related to embodying the signature of the divine feminine. I am sending you all a lot of love, and hope you are gonna have a beautiful weekend. Bye bye.